News.
If you've been around here for a while, you remember the Phoenix Lights phenomenon back in 1997.
Yeah.
It is by far the most talked about occurrence in the UFO community.
So what if we told you there was another alleged UFO incident here in the Phoenix area? This one happened nearly 70 years ago in an area that's pretty well known here in the valley. Chances are you may drive through it all the time. Linda Williams now with this story.
I've lived in north central Phoenix for more than 40 years now, and I have never heard this story. It goes that back in 1947, a spacecraft crashed at the base of Squaw Peak Mountain. The government, in an effort to hide all evidence of this crash, then built the Dreamy Dam over that spacecraft. Never heard anything about it. Why? Well, perhaps it was buried in the X-Files. There are actually a few versions of this story. One is outlined in this book written in 1950 by Frank Scully. In Behind the Flying Saucers, Scully writes that according to a witness, in October of 1947, an alien space saucer crashed at the base of Squaw Peak, now known as Piestewa Peak. The space saucer then bounce-skipped miles away, landing in Cave Creek or perhaps Paradise Valley. Another version says there were actually aliens on board who perished, and their bodies were hauled away by the U.S. government. Dreamy Dam was then allegedly built over the crash site to cover it up.
All we know is, because that's what I sought to do, is to figure out what happened at Dreamy Draw, when, where, how, and all I could find is that there were rumors, there was a witness who claims to have seen something happen either in Cave Creek or Paradise Valley or Dreamy Draw, but that's as far as it goes. Unfortunately, before I could speak with this witness directly, he passed away.
Alejandro Rojas, radio host of Open Minds Radio, is a UFO researcher and journalist. He explores UFO phenomena from this Valley office. Rojas acknowledges that the Dreamy Dam UFO story has several holes. The witness was said to be an unsavory character with little credibility. What's more, the Dreamy Dam, which allegedly was built to hide the alien crash site in 1947, was actually built in 1973 for flood control purposes.
That's a good point, and that's where the whole theory kind of falls apart. Not only was the dam not built until 73, but we also went out there and interviewed a ranger, and he explained how the draw actually is geologically sound. There's no reason for it to be there except for why it's there.
Rojas says the UFO community relies heavily on anecdotes, especially from the earlier years. 1947 was a very busy UFO sighting year.
1947, there were a lot of things being seen in the sky.
The Dreamy spaceship crash was reported in early October of 1947. But a few months earlier, on July 7th of 1947, this picture was taken by William Rhodes of Phoenix. It is said to be one of the first and one of the best UFO pictures ever taken. Rhodes says government agents visited him once the picture was published in the Arizona newspaper.
They wanted to borrow the image, or borrow the negative. And they said, all we want to do is make a copy of it and we'll bring it back.
Rhodes spoke to Channel 10 about the picture during a 1998 interview. He says the agents never returned the negatives to him. Just a few days after the Rhodes sighting in Phoenix in 1947, the granddaddy of all UFO occurrences in Roswell, New Mexico. It was July 8th of 1947. Coincidence? Or were extraterrestrial visitors trying to explore the Earth and perhaps crash-landed a few times in 1947? When stories and rumors persist, Rojas says there's often a shred of truth there, and they continue asking questions. Out at Dreamy Park in Phoenix, people were surprised to hear of the alien crash story, but most were open-minded.
I think it's interesting.
I think anything's possible.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's not true, right?
I believe the truth is out there.
And many will continue digging to try to find it. Linda Williams, Fox 10 News.
Next month, hundreds of people will converge on the valley for the 25th annual UFO Congress, Convention, and Film Festival. If you want more information, go to our website, fox10phoenix.com. I just don't know.